Sup everyone, I'm your female otaku, and I'm here to review the first episode of Re:Zero. After this first episode, I can most definitely say that Re:Zero is probably going to be either my number one or just one of my personal favorites of the spring 2016 season. This happens now and again. Sometimes, or a lot of the times, my favorite anime of whatever season just so happens to be the best anime of that season. But I remember in the fall 2015 season that even though the best anime of that season, what I chose was Noragami Aragoto, my personal favorite was Sakurako-san's Investigation. So if Re:Zero turns out to be not as good down the road, I think it would still end up being one of my personal favorites in the end. I loved everything of this episode. Everything was amazing. White Fox is one of my personal favorite animation studios, and they went in. They went in, man. The fluidity, it was like the first minute or so, we see Felt running on top of the roofs, and oh my goodness, that looked so amazing. And with Satelia, she glowed and everything. It was all blue and stuff. Breathtaking. And of course, White Fox is one of the few studios that actually hates censorship and will show you everything, and they did just that. Like when you first saw Old Man Ram died, with the whole thing in his throat and everything, oh man. If you guys don't know, I love gore. I really do. So seeing that, I was just like, White Fox, I love you. I love White Fox so much. Anyway, so with this episode, we have a candidate for Best Boy of the Spring Season, Subaru. He realizes immediately that he has been transported into a parallel world, and that he's thinking of how in other types of media, when the main character gets transported into a fantasy world, that some goddess has summoned him and he has to go on a quest. He's in a medieval-like setting with demi-humans, and he has to have this sort of superpower. And the way how it ended up slowly turning into a dark fantasy at the end, I think that Re:Zero is trying to de-break down the fantasy genre. In a way like how Madoka Magica de-breaks the magical girl genre. That might be what they're going for, but maybe I'm just jumping ahead into conclusions. But I don't know, it seems like that so far. And if they are doing that, oh, that's fantastic, because there is so many fantasy anime right now, and a lot of them are more or less similar or the same. So having an anime breaking down the fantasy genre would be great. Fantastic. And we see that his power, Subaru's power, is he can rewind time by dying. Satella recently had a crystal stolen from her, and that was from Felt, and Felt was going to make some deals with a couple other people to get some money. There's something up with Satella. You see, in the middle-ish of the episode, she says that she's a half-elf, and apparently a half-elf means something. Maybe being half-elf, maybe the whole elf tribe species is looked down upon, because when she said that, she expected Subaru to act in a certain way, but he was just so like, what? Yeah, I heard you, so what about it? So there's something about being an elf in this world that's probably looked down upon. And then at the end of the episode, she said, don't call me by my jealous witch name. A jealous witch? Huh. She said that she doesn't have a family name. So what does it mean to be Satella? It's clear that that's not her first name. But this is so strange. We have jealous witch, half-elf, Satella. What does all that mean? I really want to know. I'm absolutely going to adore Re:Zero. I'm gonna love the characters, the animation, the soundtrack, and the overall adventure. I already see the psychological elements building up. So, what's next? Is Subaru gonna try to befriend Satella again and then find the crystal and hopefully live this time to see the next day? To be honest, I don't really see this anime failing. I have too much faith in White Fox. I know a couple of people, no, quite a bit of people don't like White Fox anymore ever since Akame got killed, but personally I liked Akame got killed besides all of its flaws. So I don't know. I might end up being biased towards this anime, but we'll have to see. It's only the first episode, and boy, was the first episode amazing. Let me know your overall thoughts on the first episode of ReZero, and are you excited for the next one? There's no new anime coming out tomorrow, but I plan to be doing another episode of The Kotatsu, you know, the podcast that Kukulin, JoJo Talks Too Much, and Sun Wukong and I do. It's going to be over at JoJo Talks Too Much's channel at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And catch me Tuesday as I review Bungo Stray Dogs and Joka Game. I'm your female otaku, sayonara.